Welcome to Libby's Cooking Class! Hooray! Let's cook and be healthy! Today's menu is Christmas cake. It's egg and milk free. Here is the recipe. The ingredients are flour, salt, baking powder, soy milk, maple syrup, apple juice, oil. The sponge cake is sweetened with maple syrup or apple juice. No sugar needed. Place the scale on the table and a container on top of the scale. Press the reset button to set the number to 0 and weigh out 60 grams of flour and a pinch of salt. After setting it to 0, weigh out 2 grams of baking powder. We've weighed out all the dry ingredients. Let's measure the wet ingredients in a separate bowl. First is 25 grams of soy milk. I change the scale back to 0 and add 30 grams of maple syrup. Then 25 grams of apple juice. And 10 grams of oil. And you're all done measuring. Mix the wet ingredients well with a whisk. Then add the dry ingredients to the wet ones. Mix it gently so there are no clumps of flour. And don't overmix the mixture or it will become sticky and difficult to fluff up. Fill the cupcake holder halfway up with the batter. You can have enough for 3 cupcakes. Place the cupcakes on a baking sheet and space them apart to bake them. Preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius and bake for 8 minutes. Then lower the temperature to 170 degrees and bake for 6 more minutes. When it's warm enough to touch, cover it with plastic wrap to prevent it from drying out and becoming hard. While the cake is cooling, let's make the cream for decoration. Here is the recipe for the cream. Ingredients are soy milk, sugar, vanilla extract, lemon juice, and oil. Let's weigh these ingredients. 25 grams of sugar, reset the number to 0 and add 40 grams of soy milk. Next, add 65 grams of oil and 2 grams of lemon juice. I will add a little bit more than 2 grams because I can't weigh half a gram, but it's less than 3. Add a few drops of vanilla extract. Now, stir on high speed with an immersion blender to make the cream. Oils and liquids don't usually mix well if you just are using a spoon, so mix them on high speed. Look! how it turns out. Now let's decorate the cake. Cut the top of the sponge cake out of the cup. There is a border, so I can cut right there. I can even turn it on its side to cut it. The bottom part of the cake is a little hard, so soften it by turning it inside out and splashing syrup on it. Today, I'm using apple juice instead of syrup. If you put a little syrup or juice on the sponge cake, it will moisten that part of the cake and make it easier for the cream to stick to the cake when you put the cream on it. Place the cream on the bottom of the cake. Place another layer of cream on top so that the weight of the cream will help it to spread. Leave a little space around the bottom to spread the cream. Now let's stack them! Also, spread a thin layer of apple juice on the cake. Don't forget the sides! Now spread the surface of the cake on the top of the cake, and then spread the cream over with a palette knife or a meal knife and spread the excess cream on the sides. When spreading the cream on the sides of the cake, hold the knife upright and press down. The hand that is not holding the knife can slowly turn the plate to make it easier to go all the way around. Once the surface of the cake is well coated with cream, squeeze out the remaining cream into a bag like this. If you have a squeeze bag, use it. If you don't have one, you can use a plastic bag and cut the corners a little to make something like this. Squeeze with the same force and at the same angle. It is easier to squeeze while slowly turning the plate. Leave a space for strawberries in the middle like this. You can also squeeze between the cakes on the plate to make it more beautiful. The next step is to make the glaze. Glaze is a kind of jelly that makes fruits look shiny and glossy. It is made with sugar, water, and gelatin. But today, we will use agar powder instead of gelatin, so it will harden quickly, even at room temperature. Place 20 grams of sugar, 2 grams of agar powder, and 50 grams of water in a pot. Heat the mixture until it boils. Then dip the skewered strawberries into the liquid. When the mixture starts to harden, Place it on a cookie sheet and let it cool. If the glaze becomes lumpy, place it in a container and keep it warm so it can be melted again. Now we can make the crushed hard jelly as a topping. The ingredients are 60 grams apple juice, 10 grams sugar, and 5 grams of powdered gelatin. Heat it in a pot. Stop heating before it boils and pour into a container. Cool in the refrigerator and it will harden in about 15 minutes. This can be shredded with a fork to make a sparkling decoration. You can also use your favorite toppings to make your own cake. Let's make it this small. Isn't it glittery and beautiful? And ta-da! We're done! It's a fancy Christmas cake! No cream or eggs, so it's good for people with allergies. Now on Christmas Day, Tiggy and I are going to make this cake and have a fun party. We can put more fruit on it if we want. Have a happy Christmas with your family and friends. Yay! We did it! You can try it at home too. Try your best and see you next time. Goodbye!